Here is something that still feels slightly illegal. You describe a website in plain English, and 90 seconds later, it is sitting in front of you. Live, clickable, and yours. No code, no designer, no monthly subscription. By the end of this video, you will have a real one-page website. Your own words, your own colors, working links, a contact button that reaches your inbox, and a public URL you can put on a business card. This is for the freelancer with no portfolio, the plumber whose only web presence is a Facebook page, the person launching a supper club on Saturday. If you can describe your business to a friend, you can do this. When you ask Claude for a web page, it builds an artifact. That is a live preview panel that renders your page as it writes it. You watch the site appear in real time, and you can click around inside it straight away. One truth up front. An artifact is a single HTML file with the styling and the interactivity baked in. That is a limitation and a gift. One file means nothing to configure, nothing to break, and it loads anywhere. Open Claude.ai and sign in. The free plan is enough for this entire build. Pro gives you longer conversations before you hit a limit, which matters if you get fussy about design. Start a fresh chat for the site. Before you type a single prompt, answer one question. What is the one job of this page? Get a phone call, take a booking, collect emails. A page with one job converts. A page with 5 jobs confuses everybody. Now write what I call a site brief. 4 lines: who you are, who it is for, the one action you want, and 3 things that make you different. A good brief becomes a good page. A vague brief becomes a generic one. Here is a real first prompt. Notice that it names the business, the audience, the sections, and the mood. Paste something like this, and Claude produces a complete page in one shot, not a skeleton you have to fill in yourself. The artifact opens on the right. Scroll it like a real page, because it is one. Click the buttons. Resize the panel. Anything that looks wrong at this stage is not a problem. It is simply your next sentence to Claude. Now the golden rule of no-code building. Change one thing per message. Say the hero feels cramped. Add breathing room above the headline. Small specific instructions get surgical edits. Big vague ones get you a page you did not ask for. Design language is a real vocabulary, and Claude speaks it fluently. Ask for more whitespace, a tighter type scale, softer corners, a warmer palette, fewer shadows. You do not need hex codes, but if you have brand colors, hand them over. If a page feels off overall, rebuild it in pieces. Ask Claude to redo just the pricing block or just the hero. It edits that section and leaves everything else untouched. This is far faster than starting the whole page again. Now the part most people skip. Replace placeholder words with your actual words. Your real prices, your real delivery area, your real story. Better still, give Claude the facts and ask it to write the copy in your own voice. Your headline does most of the work on the entire page, so give it proper attention. Ask Claude for 10 options in different registers. Plain and factual, warm and human, blunt and specific. Then pick the one that sounds like a real person said it out loud, not a brochure. For images, you have 3 free options. Your own phone photos, a free stock site like Unsplash, or ask Claude to build the page with color blocks and shapes instead of photographs. That last option often looks more expensive than stock imagery. Over half your visitors arrive on a phone. Ask Claude directly to check the page at 375 pixels wide and fix anything that overflows or shrinks. Then drag your own browser window narrow and look for yourself. A one-page site still needs navigation. Ask for a sticky top bar with smooth scrolling anchor, links to each section, plus a button that jumps straight to contact. On phones, ask for that bar to collapse into a simple menu. Here is the honest limitation. A single file has no back end, so a contact form has nowhere to send data. 2 free fixes. Make the button open the visitor's email app pre-filled or connect it to a free form service. That email approach sounds primitive, but it works beautifully for small businesses. The visitor taps once, their mail app opens with the subject and half the message already written, and the inquiry lands in the inbox you already check. If you take appointments, skip the form entirely. Ask Claude to embed your booking link, whether that is Calendly, cal.com, or a Google Calendar appointment page. One button, one tap, booked. Fewer steps beats a prettier form every time. Social proof sells, but only if it is genuine. If you have 3 real customer quotes, ask Claude to lay them out simply with first names and locations. If you have none, do not invent them. Use a concrete fact instead, like how many deliveries you made last month. 2. Design shortcuts that make an amateur page look professional. 1. Use exactly 2 fonts and ask Claude to load them from Google Fonts. 2. Use a single accent color everywhere and nothing else competing with it. Restraint reads as expensive. Accessibility is not optional, and it is free to fix. Ask Claude to check color contrast, add descriptive alt text to every image, make the page work with keyboard tabbing, and label every field. It handles all of that in one pass. Your whole site is one file, so it is already fast. Keep it that way. Avoid enormous photos, ask Claude to resize anything heavy, and skip animation libraries. A page that loads in under a second beats a page with parallax. Search engines need 3 things from you: a clear page title, a 1-sentence description, and headings that say what you actually do. Ask Claude to write those around the words a real customer would genuinely type into a search box. A tiny detail with big payoff. That little icon in the browser tab. Ask Claude to generate a simple lettermark favicon in your accent color and embed it right in the file. 1 sentence, and the site suddenly feels finished. When you are happy, use the download button at the top of the artifact panel. You get 1 HTML file. That file is your entire website. Back it up somewhere sensible, because it genuinely is the whole thing. Run a pre-flight check before anyone sees it. Every link opens the right place. The phone number dials correctly on a real phone. Prices match what you actually charge. Your email address is spelled properly. That last one catches more people than you would believe. Now, publishing. The fastest route is Claude's own share link. Publish the artifact, and anyone with the URL can open it without an account. Anthropic shipped public artifact sharing in July 2026, and it is perfect for testing. For a proper site, you want your own address. Drag that file onto Netlify Drop, and it is online in seconds, free. Or push it to a GitHub repository and switch on Pages. Both give you permanent free hosting with no server. A domain costs roughly $10 to $15 a year. Buy it from any registrar, then point it at your host. Netlify and GitHub Pages both walk you through it, and both include a free certificate. That is the only money in this build. You will want to know whether anyone visits. Ask Claude to add a lightweight, privacy-friendly analytics snippet, or simply count what actually matters. Phone calls and replies. For a small site, a big analytics dashboard is usually a distraction. Now, 3 mistakes I see constantly. The first, asking for absolutely everything in one enormous prompt, then being annoyed when the result is mush. Build the skeleton first, refine section by section. You will get there faster and enjoy it more. The second mistake, losing a version you liked. Claude keeps every version of the artifact so you can step back through them, but the safest habit is downloading the file whenever the page reaches a state you would happily publish. The third mistake is embarrassing in public. Placeholder text left live on the site. Invented reviews, fake phone numbers, Latin filler. Before you publish, read every single word out loud. If any of it is not true, delete it. If you collect emails or take payments, you need a privacy note. Ask Claude to draft a short plain English section explaining what you collect and why. It is not legal advice, but it beats nothing, and it takes about a minute. Single file sites do have a ceiling. The moment you need logins, a real database, a shop tracking stock, or 20 separate pages, you have outgrown an artifact. That is the point to move to Claude Code or a proper platform. Here is the plan if you only have half an hour. 5 minutes on your brief, 5 on the first build, 10 on copy and prices, 5 on mobile and accessibility, 5 to publish. Done beats perfect every single time. Let me make it concrete. A friend runs a mobile dog grooming van. We wrote the brief, built the page, swapped in her prices and 3 photos, added a click-to-call button, and dropped it on Netlify. 26 minutes, start to finish. So, to recap, 1 job for the page, a sharp 4-line brief, 1 change per message, real copy, a mobile and accessibility check, then download and publish. That is a live website built in a conversation for the price of a domain. If that was useful, subscribe, because there is a new Claude tutorial here every single day. Tomorrow, we tackle job interview preparation, including how to make Claude act as a brutally honest interviewer. Thanks for watching, and go and build your page.